Right, boys, so you've got the audience, but where the fuck is the money? Where's the money at? Now, this isn't about posting better content because you've probably already got decent content. This is about the system that turns that attention into actual income. My name's Adam, and this is content acquisition. So like I said, it's not a content problem, it is a system problem. It's what's underneath it. You've probably got decent content already, which people watch, people engage, but the revenue doesn't match the effort that you're putting in. That's not a content quality issue, that is a monetization structure issue, and those two have completely different fixes. On the left here, we have your content problem. Post more often is what people say. Make better hooks, try different formats, go more viral, right? But that is bullshit, right? And now this is a system-led fix. Build the path from content to purchase. Understand why people aren't converting and track what is working, and to design the whole funnel intentionally. So as we all know, attention does not equal money. You can have 1 million views and make completely fucking nothing, but you can have 500 followers and do a 20k month. The difference is not your audience size, it's whether you have a system that converts attention into money. Now, when I first started posting content, I think I hit my first 20k month with just around 5,000. Now I've got 35, it makes absolutely no difference. It's about what you post and how you post it, who you're speaking to. So most creators have the content, but nobody has the path. So this is the path here. Content gets published, then it gets views, then it gets profile visitors. But what's now? Where do they go and how do they buy? They leave and they never come back. Every piece of content you make drives people to your profile, and your profile is the conversion point. And if there's no clear path after that, then every viewer you get has converted at 0. So there are 4 things that are silently killing your revenue, and we're gonna run through them now. So the first one, the first killer, is you have blurry positioning. The right buyer lands on your profile and doesn't immediately see themselves in you, in your story, in your positioning, right? They don't know it's for them, so they leave and they never know it even happened. We have a 3-second test. Somebody who's never heard of you lands on your profile, and within 3 seconds, do they know exactly what you do? For them, if the answer is kind of or not really, then it's not sharp enough. The second silent killer, and you never see this one happening, right? Your content's getting views and the right buyers keep leaving, and you assume the content isn't working, but the content's fine. Your positioning is what's broken. Now, we have no funnel, just content. So at the top here, we have content that gets attention, it's viral, anyone can see it. They hit your profile, and it converts interest, sort of. But what's the next step? Do they go to your DMs? Do they book a call? And that's where the purchase should be. Most people have steps 1 and 2, but the money is in steps 3, 4, and 5, and nobody is designing them. So silent killer number 3 is you're flying completely blind. You don't know which content is bringing in the buyers right now. Not the views, not the likes, but which specific posts are generating inquiries from people that actually have money who can afford your product or service. What is your close rate? How many people who inquire actually become your clients? Because if you don't know, then you can't improve. So what's stopping people from buying your product, right? You need to know the most common objections that your potential clients have right now. They don't even know what it is, because your content should be addressing it. And without data, every single decision you make is a complete fucking guess. And guessing is expensive when you're spending time creating content every single day and spending time with your clients. So your audience doesn't know what to buy is the silent killer number 4. Now, I have spoken to loads of creators with over 50,000 followers who have genuine fans who watch every single piece of their content, but they have no idea what the creator actually sells. Not because they're not interested, but because it's never been made clear enough, consistently enough, right? This is what most people do. They mention the offer occasionally, right? They change what they sell every few months because they fear being too salesy, so nobody ever really asks. But what actually works? You need one clear offer, and it's consistently visible. Content that pre-sells before they ever even reach out, and this is where people will even pay you in the DMs without a sales call. And we need to be specific enough that the right person self-selects themselves. Content isn't about attracting everyone. Your content should filter the right person. We have all 4 running at the same time. Number 1, blurry positioning. The right buyer can't tell it's for them, which means they leave in 3 seconds, they'll never buy from you. Number 2, if you have no funnel, you have no path from content to the purchase, which means your views disappear. Number 3, no data. Every decision is based on your gut feeling, there's no visibility. And number 4, you have an unclear offer and your audience doesn't know what or how to buy. Now, you can't fix these all at the same time, they're connected. If you fix one while the others are broken, the revenue doesn't move. This fixes a system that addresses all of them in one go. So what does the system actually look like? We have your content, we have your profile, we have your conversion and your income. The first one is your content layer. It attracts the right person specifically. not everyone. The specific buyer, and every post has a purpose in the sequence. Next up, we have the profile funnel, which converts attention intent. Visitors land, they immediately understand your offer, and they know exactly what to do next. If you don't tell people what to do, they won't do anything. Next is your conversion layer, your DMs, your calls, your follow-ups, which is a structured process that qualifies and closes without chasing. Next up is income. The right person, fully primed, arriving at a clear offer, they are already ready to buy. And lastly, your data, running underneath everything. Every metric tracked, every decision made, data-driven, and constant optimization. Every single post needs a job. You can't just be aimlessly posting if you're trying to make money and you're trying to make a select number of people do certain things. So number one, we have attract, which brings new qualified eyes to your profile. And the hook is designed specifically for your ideal buyer, not everyone. So obviously my previous offer in Skill Stack, I mean, I think 100% of people bought from me because of my construction background. If I never said that, they probably wouldn't have bought. If I wanted to sell a high ticket offer that's anywhere over 5, 10K, then I need to speak to actual business owners, which is a completely different strategy. Next, we need to build trust, which demonstrates the depth, the proof, the authority, and makes the right person think this person really knows what they're talking about. Then we need to connect with them, which makes your ideal buyer feel seen, it's personal, and it's specific, and it's honest, and it builds the relationship that makes buying feel natural. And then lastly, we have the conversion. If you can't convert, you don't make money, right? This is the direct ask, and it works when only the other three have done their jobs first. If you skip them, then nobody responds. So we have content that performs versus content that converts. Massive difference, right? Content performance, right, is optimized for views, likes, and shares. It appears broadly for maximum reach. It's great for vanity metrics, but often you don't make no money from it, and I've seen this everywhere. It attracts consumers, not buyers. People that are entertained by you, they might think you're fit, they might think you're sexy, but they're never gonna buy from you, right? On the right side, we have conversion content, which is optimized for DMs and qualified inquiries. This is what we want. It speaks to one specific person's specific problem. It might get fewer views, like you see my content now. I posted a video this morning, probably gonna cap out at 2,000 views because it's speaking to that one person. Now, half my audience is B2C. They're not gonna resonate with it, but the right people will. Another thing we need to do is attract the right buyer who's already warming up to your offer. And these two things are often in direct tension. You need to know which one you're optimizing for with every single piece of content that you make from here on out. So every 7 days, your content should move somebody closer to making a decision. Day one, attract new eyes, and it's ICP targeted. Day two, we have authority, which is your proof, your depth, and your credibility. Now, day 3 and 4, you connect, you show your story, your opinions, be real, be authentic, be genuine. Day number 5, we have your proof, your results, your transformations, and evidence that you do what you say you can. Day number 7, convert. You ask them, the CTA, your call to action, and then you fucking close your deal, boys. If you skip to day 7 without the others, nobody responds. Do the sequence properly, and by the time you make the ask, they've already done 80% of the selling for you. Next up is your profile funnel. So your profile is a sales page, and most aren't written like one. So on the left here, we've got your typical profiles. A generic bio that describes what you do, not who you help or how it changes for them, right? We have highlights that are random collections of old content. It might be traveling around, nobody cares. Pin post, chosen for engagement, not conversion, just vanity metrics again. Links in bios going to 12 different options. You wanna have one single link in bio that helps one person do one thing, right? And there's no clear next step for somebody discovering who you are. Now on the right is what we want our profile to do, which actually converts. A bio that speaks to one person's problem in one sentence, right? We highlight the function as a guided tour of your proof, your offer, and your result. And we have pin posts that are chosen to build trust and qualified buyers in the first 3 seconds, right? One link, one action. And the right person lands immediately and knows this is for me. Here's what I do. So we have 3 seconds. That is the window. Somebody sees your content, they tap your name, they land on your profile, and in 3 seconds, they've decided if they trust you, if they like you, or even if they're gonna buy from you. Most profiles fail at this test, and every single time they do, you paid your time with effort for nothing. So now we need to know your audience deeply. If I just said you wanted to make money online, rather than somebody that says, I help construction workers pack in the 9 to 5s by stacking skills online, a construction worker sees that and he's gonna think, yes, he's the guy I wanna work with because he's speaking directly to me. So you know who watches, but you don't know why they don't buy. We need to know their real pain, right? And not the surface level problem. The fear underneath it, what they're afraid of, what will still be true in 12 months time if nothing changes for them. Next up is their real desire, not I want more money, the specific that the money represents, right? What's the byproduct? The version of themselves they're not trying to become. And their objections, the exact reasons they haven't bought yet. And if you know these, you can address them in your content before they ever reach out. When content addresses somebody's objection before they've ever voiced it, that's when DMs start saying, it's like you read my mind. And I get fucking tons of them. People say, you've literally described my life better than I ever could. And that's exactly what having audience data does for you. Another good thing that you can do in your content, if you've just had a sales call with a few different people and you extract that and they've given you the same 3 objections that everybody else does, then that's data that you need to leverage in your content. If somebody's bought from you because you offer one-to-one support for 6 months, then you need to fucking go ham on that when you're making content. Another good thing to do, if people are messaging you in the DMs and they've got the same objection, is just post a 3-minute, like a 2 to 3 minute video just addressing those objections, right? I've done this on my profile. I had 3 sales calls. They all gave me the same objection or the same reframe. So I posted a 2 to 3 minute VSL, didn't get any views, but 2 out of them 3 buyers came back and they ended up buying from me. So next up, we have the conversion layer, the path from DM to the deal. First of all, they come in, which is your inbound DM. They reach out because the content has already built the trust. They're warm. And this changes everything about the conversation that follows. Step number 2, we need to qualify the conversation, right? It's not a pitch. It's a structured exchange that finds out if they're genuinely the right fit to work with you before they invest in their time to take a call. Step number 3 is the actual call. With warm, pre-qualified leads, this is not a hard sell. It's a diagnostic, right? The work has already been done before this point. And number 4, we close that fucking deal, boys. A structured follow-up that handles objections and gets decisions without chasing or desperation. The system does the work. So here's where the money is being lost. You're mishandling the DM. So what do most people do? They jump straight into pitching when somebody DMs them. They give the price before building any value. They take anyone onto a call without qualifying. They follow up once, they get no response and they give up. But what a system does, it opens by understanding the problem first. It builds value before the number lands and it only moves to a call when the fit is confirmed. And lastly, it has a structured follow-up sequence that isn't desperate. The DM conversation is a sales asset that can be optimized and most people improvise it every single time. That's why their results are inconsistent. Now we've got the engine, which is your data running underneath everything. So we need to know exactly what gets tracked, right? Your decisions from the data, not just your gut feeling. First up, we have your ICP analytic, right? Who your buyers actually are, where are they from, their demographics and their behaviors, and where they came from before they bought, because that's your marketplace, right? Next up, we have a content performance. Which posts are actually getting the most traction, right? Which are driving inquiries? Which only drive views? What attracts the right buyers versus consumers, updated every single week? Next up, we have objection patterns, right? The most common reasons that people don't buy, tracked from DMs and calls, fed directly back into your content. Next up, we need to know your close rate, inquiries to calls, the calls to clients, and where the drop-off is happening and exactly what needs fixing. If you don't have data, you can't scale. Now we have your revenue by source. Which content is actually generating revenue versus just engagement? Your income needs to be attributed to the activity. And then lastly, we have your AI integration, AI analytics of the ICP, the data, and it tells you exactly what to post next every week, informed by the last. Lastly, we need to scale what already works. So organic first, then we amplify. It's never the other way around. Most people think ads can fix a business, but it's bollocks. They amplify what already works. Once organic's working, which means your content's converting, your profile's converting, DMs are closing, and you know exactly what your close rate is. Next is you collect data. You know which content's bringing in the best buyers, you know who your ICP actually is, and you know exactly where people are dropping off. Next, we have the ads are activated. Profile visits pointed at your ICP. We put fuel on a fire that's already burning, and it's not a fucking gamble. Then we add the setters. Once the volume exceeds what you can't handle alone, we deploy setters and manage the DMs, and you only show up to close, or your sales team will. And then we have your revenue compounding week on week, month on month. More qualified leads, same close rates, higher volume, more predictable, and more scalable income. So what does this look like in practice? We have the same system, real results, and different niches. We've got Sam here, took him from 9 to 22K a month. He had good content, but the wrong audience. So we repositioned his ICP, rebuilt his profile, and put ads on the fire. And within 90 days, we took him from 9. Now he said he's at 25K. We have Lewis here, who is an accountant, who was at 20K a month with a 7.5K ticket price. It's a world-class offer, probably the best one I've ever seen online. He actually closed me as well, but he had no trust built online. Obviously, if somebody can tell you you can't pay any tax and you can travel the world, you're gonna think that's a load of bollocks. So the biggest thing with Lewis was to build that trust. Built his authority, raised his prices, and activated the system within 90 days, took it from 20K to 65K. Then on the right here, we have Alfie. We took Alfie from 8K to 15K with his existing audience. but he was in the wrong region. So we pulled up his data, looked at his analytics on his Instagram, and the majority of his clients were in Dubai and the USA, but his content was not reflecting that. We locked it in for 90 days. He started targeting US and Dubai. Now he's got a 3K ticket price, closing fitness package deals. Now we've got Gino as well here, who was at completely zero and now closing on his first 10K month. All of these people, different niches, different problems, but the same architecture. The system adapts every single time and the structure never changes. This exact system took me from 15K months to 55K literally within the first month of applying it. So lastly, boys, this is what I'm going to leave you with. You don't have an audience problem, you don't have a content problem, you have a system problem, and system problems have system solutions. Everything you built, the audience, the trust, the authority, that's the asset, and the system is the mechanism that monetizes it. But right now, you have the asset without the mechanism, and that's exactly what this is about, boys. Let's make some fucking money.